Hello lovely viewers, welcome back to the Glow Pilates Studio channel. I'm Julia and thanks for joining me for this 15-minute foam roller release video with a focus on the leg muscles. For this class, I would highly recommend using a smooth, dense roller with no spikes, and either a full-size or travel-size foam roller would work great. When you feel ready to begin, place your roller horizontally on your mat. Set your quads on top of the roller, just above the kneecaps, and come into a supportive elbow plank. Take a breath or two to find your softest possible muscles in contact with the roller. And when you feel ready, slowly begin to roll up and down. I suggest starting small, just a couple of inches up and a couple of inches down, until you feel ready to roll the full range of your quads. Try to stay lifted out of your shoulders here, and try to keep supporting your lumbar spine with your abdominals. Come to a pause with the roller resting just above the kneecaps. Slowly begin to bend and straighten your knees. You decide how far. And try not to let your hips pop up or pike as you do so. Bring the roller more to the middle of your thighs. And let's repeat 3 knee bends again at your own pace and range. Once you're finished with your knee bends, set your toes onto the floor, hover your thighs off the roller, turn them out, and then reset your inner thighs onto the foam roller again. Let's repeat the same rolling up and down, slow and steady, with the softest inner thighs that you can manage in contact with the roller. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. Bring the roller to rest just above the kneecaps once again. Set your toes on the floor. Hover your thighs off the roller to turn them inwards, pigeon-toed, and set them down. I suggest hooking your toes or feet together in this position. And continue rolling more on the outsides of your quads. Remind your shoulders to stay lifting out of the arms and try to keep your lumbar spine supported by using your abdominals. When you feel ready, pause with the roller just above the kneecaps, box out your left arm, and hook your left ankle behind the right. If you can, try to roll more onto the outside of the right thigh, or simply pause and breathe here. When you feel ready, switch to the other side. Box out the right arm, hook the right ankle behind, and if you can, give it a roll or simply pause and breathe on that pressure point. Before we give our arms and elbows a break, let's do one more variation. Come all the way onto your right IT band, the side of your right thigh, balancing on your right elbow. Option here to bend your top knee and set your foot on the floor, or you can keep your legs stacked. If you can, try to roll up and down, or simply pause and breathe on that pressure point. Take a little pause here, and let's bend either just your bottom leg or both legs if you're remaining stacked. When you're ready, switch all the way onto your left IT band, balancing on your left elbow. Decide if you prefer your legs stacked or if you like your top knee bent, and continue to either breathe or roll the length of your IT band on this side. To deepen your IT band release, let's repeat those knee bends, either just with your bottom leg or with both legs if they're stacked. Beautiful job. Let's give our arms a little breather. Come backwards off of your foam roller. Take a moment in your child's pose, wrists resting on your roller. And when you feel ready, roll yourself up to sitting. We're going to now transition to sitting on top of the foam roller into our figure 4 with the left leg crossed on top of the right. Roll out onto the left hip and begin to roll the length of your glutes. Think of tracing a line from your left sitting bone all the way to the top of your pelvis. We're rolling out our glutes and piriformis here. When you feel ready, switch your figure 4, tilt towards the right, and try to roll the length of your right glutes and piriformis. When you feel even, come back to center. Step both feet down onto the floor and carefully roll back to lie onto your mat, hips remaining on your foam roller. Bring your hands to the sides of the roller to stabilize it. And when you're ready, float your legs one at a time to tabletop. Glue the legs together. And let's begin by slightly penduluming the legs to your left and then to your right. Allow the opposite hip to leave the roller and try to twist to the point of finding your pressure point. Try to keep 2 shoulders anchored on the floor. And let's come to a pause with your knees tilting towards your left. Pick a direction and make some small circles with your kneecaps. At your own pace, switch the direction of your circles. Keep them nice and small. And when you're ready, come through center, tilt the knees to your right, and repeat those small knee circles. Switch the direction and just check that both shoulders are still level on the floor. Great work. Set those feet down. Slightly lift your hips to push the roller out from underneath you. And take a moment to hug your knees into your chest and maybe give yourself a little rock side to side. When you're ready, let's rock and roll up to sitting. And we're going to transition to a calf release. Set your hands behind you. Straighten your legs out in front of you. And set your calves onto the roller. We're going to begin with our left calf. So let's cross the right ankle on top of your left shin. Hover your hips slightly off the floor and slightly pressing with your top foot, begin to roll in parallel. We're focusing here on your Achilles tendon and the bottom of your calf. Option here to roll out slightly onto the outside of your ankle, and feel free to either rest your free foot on top or that foot on the roller. When you feel ready, let's set the hips down and switch to your parallel right calf. Just like with our quads, try to stay as soft as possible in the calf and Achilles. And if you'd like to, you have the option of rolling outwards onto this leg. Feel free to use your free foot however you prefer for one more breath. When you feel ready, set your hips back down and let's deepen our calf and Achilles release. Come to standing on your knees, place the foam roller behind your hamstrings and slightly press your hips forward to bring the roller as close to your hamstrings as possible. Holding it in place with your hands, try to take a seat on the roller and try to keep the fronts of your ankles as soft as possible. If this is where you need to stay, then just pause and breathe, softening through the calves. Or if you'd like to, try to lean the chest a little bit further back and begin to sway a little bit to the right. Pause and take a breath or two here. And then take a sway to your left, deepening the pressure point into the left calf. Feel free to continuously sway right and then left if that's what feels better to you. As long as you're breathing and keeping the calves soft. When you feel even, come back to center. Slightly take your hips off the roller to push it back all the way against your heels. And sit onto your Achilles tendons this time. Once again, feel free to lean your chest back a little more if possible. And either repeat your sways of the shoulders side to side, or if you prefer, sway or shift your hips side to side. This is a bit more of a massaging release for your Achilles tendons and ankles. Take one more breath of whatever you're choosing to do here. And when you feel centered, sit up off the roller, place it in front of you, and just tuck your toes, sitting back on your heels for a moment to lengthen your Achilles tendons. Let's take our shins onto the foam roller next. Place your parallel shins on top of the roller, hands on the floor in front of you, and gradually take your feet off of your mat. I suggest here to sit back a little bit more towards the heels with your hips and begin to roll the length of your shins. I know this sounds very strange, but how often do we forget to roll out our shin muscles? Let's take a couple more breaths, softening the muscles around your shins as much as possible. and pressing into the roller. Take a moment to cross your left ankle behind the right again and continue rolling the outside of your right shin. When you feel ready, switch to the other side. This release is especially great for those suffering from shin splints or any sort of inflammation on the outsides of the ankles and shins. When you feel even, come off the foam roller, tuck your toes, and once again come into your ankle stretch to finish off. If you've made it to the end of this video, well done. I know the exercises in this class are not the most enjoyable, but they are so beneficial to any mover, beginner through advanced. I would love to hear what your favorite or most surprising exercise from today's class was in the comments below. Please also consider subscribing to this channel for more future content. Thank you so much for joining me. See you in the next one.